Hey y'all, today on Any Given Garage, we're going to be working on the new Ultimate Welding Cart. We're going to take a Harbor Freight tool cart and repurpose it so that I can put my welder on it, the gas bottle, and all that so I can move it around the garage. Let's take a look at it. So this is what we've got here. Brand new orange US General, I think this is the 5 drawer. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 drawer. Yeah, welding cart. And what I want to do is basically replace this shelf here with a new homemade shelf that's going to come out and set the welder there. And then on this side here, we'll have something down here on the bottom and something probably kind of about here, right, to hold the welding bottles in place. That way I can move this around the garage rather than just having the welder static here. Because every time I want to weld, I need to get my gas bottle that I've got strapped up over there, bring it all the way over here, and then I strap it to this leg of this workbench here. And because of the way that foot is, it can't sit up flush against the table. It's out here, so it still has a chance to weeble wobble, and I don't like that, because I don't need a grenade or a rocket or whatever in the garage. So we're going to make this thing the welding cart. And the reason I went with the US General cart rather than just like a Harbor Freight welding cart is because I wanted the storage, because this is how we store all the welding equipment now. It's all just in this tote. Garage gets real dusty. But it's all just piled in here, like it's hard to get to. Where's everything in here? You know, got to dig around. So this will help keep everything more organized and eliminate the need for another tote, because we got enough of them things. So let's get into it and start with some measurements, and then we're going to get the tubing, start cutting it, weld it up, and it should be fun, right? Yeah, fun. That's what we're doing. Fun. Okay. So we went down to the local big box store, because that's kind of what I got that's close and available, and bought some 1-inch tubing here. It's 1/8 or 1 inch by, this is 18 gauge or 16 gauge? Now I don't remember. Let's look. Where are we at? 18 gauge. So we got a couple of 6-foot sticks of that, and then we got a few sheets here. I think this is actually the 16 gauge. Yeah, it's upside down, 16 gauge. Probably not the cheapest way to buy steel, but it's what we got. So we're gonna see if we can make, I wanna make the tubing a shelf, right? Make a perimeter out of it. And I'm gonna take some of the sheet steel and bend it either from front to back or side to side. I haven't quite figured out what the measurements and decided yet, because that's 24 by 24. And we're gonna put a kink in it, make the shelf, and come back up on the rails of the tubing. Or so the plan goes. Okay, so here's that plan I was talking about again, but a little bit drawn out. So this is gonna be the 1-inch tubing, making a box for the welder to sit in the middle. So I want the outside of the tubing to be the same width or length, I guess. I put length up here. So make that the same length as the cart is from front to back, or back to front. Yes. So that's the same as the cart. The welder width was about 7¼ inches. So I want that to be able to sit down inside here. At first I messed up, thought that was 18, so this would be a 20. And then I held the tape measure up and went, wow, that's too big. So that's actually a 7, not a 17. Got mixed up. So I'm gonna do 8 inches. Maybe I'll do a little more, but 8 inches is a nice, easy number on the inside. So hopefully it comes out to at least 8, because there's no way I'm gonna make this perfect, because I've never done this before where I'm gonna cut and bend for these corners of the steel. Yeah, so we're 8 inches there. So that would give us an overall width of 10, because each of these is 1 inch. So that's the plan for that. So that would basically, I'm thinking, replace this shelf here and just bolt on coming out right there. I'm just a little worried that that might be kind of tall from the top, but that welder, if it was sitting here, would probably be about yay tall-ish. Right, so that's not too bad from the top. It would land somewhere in here. So we're gonna go with that. But since that welder weighs like 40 pounds, what I'm worried about is that shelf then bending down. So what I might do is take some of that tubing and make an upright for it here. Maybe that also bolts in down here, and then do like a little 45 off of it just to support that weight here. It might not even need to go all the way down. It might be able to just stop somewhere in here and just hit the side. I can drill a new hole if I need to. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna try to do. If I want this to be, come down from the tube 6 inches. So we go this way, we hit 45. Like that. So that would bring it down. Right, my degrees only down 45. So from that same point, we want to 45 degrees this way. Alright, so we got there. I got there. That should pull down. Unite. Slap. Well, that didn't work how I planned. Crap. I mean, it works perfectly, except for that's not a 90-degree angle. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to figure out what that is. All right, because isn't that 45 from there? Well, that's 45 from there. Apparently I don't know how to use a square. Or I've forgotten how to use a square. Much uglier. And way too wide. Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna have to twist that a little bit. We'll fill it. It'll be okay. Well, it's been a couple days since we made this cut and this bend. And I've been thinking real long and hard about this. Just kind of ridiculous for how simple this is. But I feel like this is too much of a gap to try to fill, for especially how thin this material is. Where'd it go? What is this? 18 gauge? It's 18 gauge. It's real thin. It's not crooked. This isn't a great bend. It's a good first try. I figured out where my mistake is. We'll look at that in a minute. But yeah, if you look at that gap, it's way worse than this one. But that gap there, hopefully that's in focus. That's just too much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just hack that off there. I might actually deepen this angle and make it so that a bolt goes through here into the side of the cart. Like an upper bolt will have to go through the whole thing, but this one won't have to. I don't know. We'll see. I might just do it off of that. I think there'll be enough tube left. It'll be fine, and this can be a scrap for something else. But I'm just not happy with how that came out. It's crooked. It's just not good. So we're gonna redo it. See how it goes. Maybe the next one will be better, and probably be back at the big box store buying more of this when I mess it up again. Let's go. So this will be the bottom, we'll go up 6 inches from that. On this side, make that cut and fold that way. Yeah, sure, let's try that. We're gonna end up back at the store anyways, so you know. So here's where I messed up the last time. So we all watched me put this square on here. Right, put this little spot that says pivot right where I want that bend to be, and I rotated this out until my degrees of 45 hit right there. To the naked eye, like, yeah, that could be 45 degrees. Where I was wrong, this 45 degree mark here needs to be there. Right, see how that looks more like this 90-degree square is now. Yeah. Duh. So 45 degrees there. Bam. But you know what I should do? Since this is, whew, we almost died. Since this is expensive, should I practice on the scrap? Or should we do it live? Because this isn't going to be long enough. So the way this is going to bend, grab my little notebook here. Where we're going to bend this, so if we're looking down at our shelf here, right, looking down at the shelf, this is going to be our vertical piece coming up from down here to here. So we'd be looking down, we wouldn't be able to see it right here. And I'm going to try to make, come this way, bend over, back, and then another vertical piece straight down from there. And then we'll just fill this in with another piece for some stability that we just cut and weld straight. That's getting quite warm. Toasty. All right, let's see. Oh yeah. I mean, we're close. Okay, here we go for real now. I've actually marked it on both sides. Woo! Almost died again. So I connected the point on either side with the square. So hopefully those are the same so that 90-degree bend won't be wonky. And yeah, we're relatively close all the way around. Close enough, right? Let's see. And yes, we still have the same tiny cutting wheel. Because while I'm used to this being a 4.5-inch disc, all I have to interchange it with are 4-inch discs, which are basically the same. So this is what we're going to get. Oh, that was dumb. That was real dumb. But a little zzz with the welder, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We're learning, right? We're all learning. That's what we're here for. Oh, there's going to be somebody that's like, I remember my first time. Yeah, well, this is my first time. So there we go. Remember it. Whew, toasty. All right, how's that look? Drum roll. Yeah. Still a little crooked. Little crooked. Little twist, not too dead. Ah, look at that. Oh, that's disappointing. However, you cinch that up, it makes a nice little 90-degree. So I was a little off with the angle on the dangle, I guess, because this corner doesn't quite line up the way I wanted. Maybe that has to do with the bend. I don't know. Probably shouldn't do that too many times. Bummer, but it'll get the job done. The next one, we're going to notch it so it kinks that away. And we'll see if it's any better. At the end of the day, it's a welding cart, because that's your first project with a new welder, right? Welding cart, welder, new welder, welding cart's over there. Yeah, cool. Let's go. Whew, that's warm too. Don't put it on the plastic. That's dumb. Okay, here we. I can't watch. Well, kind of got that fat gap again. I think I neglected to pay attention to like cut just inside the lines. I'm definitely switching out that Sharpie. Yeah. All right, next moment of truth, huh? Here we go, here we go, here we go. Ah, look at that, look at that. Frickin' crooked. Freaking crooked. Twist. Twist it back. A little twist, twisty, twisty. Oh, we're so close. That one's way better. Betterer? Betterest. How are we on square? Not even freaking close. Ooh. Yep, just ripped the shirt. Damn it, I like this shirt. Okay. so we need to take a little bit more out. That's okay. Oh, it fell out. That was the first. Okay. Dun, da, 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 da. Crooked. Straight. Oh, we can work with that. Where are we touching? Where are we touching? Oh, just a skosh. Little skosh. Hitting right there. Hitting on this side. Not quite hitting that side. Just needed a little twist. Oh yeah. Ta-da! All right, there we are. That looks okay-ish, right? I mean, it's not perfect. It's not the most amazing. That gap sucks. That one's gonna be good. Those are gonna work. Probably should stop bending that so I stop fatiguing the metal so much. But yeah, now we just gotta tack it up, and then that'll go right on the side of our cart like that. We're gonna take some of that sheet metal, bam, right? Make a little shelf. Welder's gonna sit in there. Oh, we might go this way. I wanna put another piece here like that, right? It's gonna look something like that. Obviously not long enough, which is a bummer. But had I not done this, I could have, you know, put that back together, made that work. Is that, oh, still not long enough. Well, you live and you learn, right? Be all right. Yeah, we're gonna put a piece in the middle here. So we might, with the shelf this way. I don't know, haven't decided yet. But there we go. That's the beginnings of our shelf. Now let's tack it together, shall we? All right, well, this scared the living crap out of me. Just after I turned on my regulator here for the gas, we had that develop. That nice little hole right there. It was a heck of a pop. The air hit me because I was standing on this side of it. And yeah, so now we gotta find a new hose, because that sucks. Well, as luck would have it, I had a spare hose. You see this connection here is a little different, maybe better, question mark, I don't know. But I had ordered another regulator So I had a spare of those, and it came with a hose. So there we are. I guess that other one can turn into the air hose for the plasma line, because that's the same fitting as this, but it's not the same as like your air quick disconnects. So I've been searching for weeks for an adapter. I can't find anything, so I might just repurpose that hose for this. Alrighty, we're gonna try to put some tacks on here so it holds with all our magnets and figure out how to fill that big fat gap. That's not working well, that's too hot. Okay. Moving on. Let's see if we can turn the wire feed down a ways. Oh. Okay. Welding on this thin stuff's kind of fun. Blew another big fat hole right in the middle of that weld. So let's turn that down just a little more, I guess. Do little chunks, little bits at a time. Oh, blew a hole. So these aren't very pretty, especially like that one had a real big gap to fill. That one started out decent, but then I blew a hole in it, so it's pieced together. This corner, however, for the most part, better. All right, probably welding a little hot, but you know what? Whatever. That one got real ugly. But we're ready to flip it over to the other side. And then we'll do a lot of grinder work. Yeah, a lot of grinder work. Well, here's the other side. Seeing as how I forgot to hit the record button. That one came out real pretty. However, comma, that one not so much. That's disgusting. But it is what it is. It's really our first time using this welder much more than for a couple of little things. And it's a much lighter gauge of steel, but here we are. This is significantly less than pretty, but it's together. It's relatively square, I think. So yeah, let's clean it up, and then we'll add a crossbar. Should be good. And yeah, spinning all the grinding stuff towards the magnets, not my finest idea. That nice little guy. Oh, and those two, that big ugly one, that nice little guy. We'll see what we can do, but really the only reason I'm grinding these at all is just so I don't catch on stuff. And a little bit of the practice of like blending. So it kind of looks like it never happened, even though I'm probably using too coarse of a flapper disc. Better than it was. At least these corners out here, if it's going to go on the welding cart, I want this especially to be smooth enough not to snag on anything. Because inevitably, it'll find my pants. Potentially out of what's left of this. And that. Like, that'll just do it. I like the hair of a chinny chin chin. So let's see if we can lop this off, stick these back together like that, to at least save some material that I'm probably going to wish I had later on anyways. Cool. Once again, kind of ugly, but we'll grind it smooth. Actually looks like reasonably straight. So yeah, grind that down and move on. It's a little thinned out around the corners, but not perfectly straight. It should work as a good cross member. All right, well, here it is all finished up, because once again, despite believing I pushed the record button, I did not. So y'all didn't get to see me weld all this. But these inside welds here came out decently nice. That one's a little pretty. Hopefully there's some good penetration on that. On this end, around down here, up here on both sides, just because it's going to sit flat on the cart here. I didn't want anything to catch on the top, but there she is. That's her shelf. That's still toasty, still warm. Yeah, so that'll sit on the side of the cart like this. Now we're going to take this sheet metal and put it on the bottom. behind, wide there. Watch it fall apart as soon as I take the clamps off. Heck yeah, check that out. That is solid. Solid and warm. Yeah, but look at these welds. Like, not the prettiest, clearly, right? By no means am I a professional. However, still 1,000 billion% better than what I could have done with that flux core. So, woo, that's warm, that's warm, that's warm, that's warm. Okay, woo, toasty. But there's our shelf. Welder will sit in there nice. Next thing, I'm not going to grab that. I almost grabbed right there. That would have been hot. We're going to put some holes in it, and then we'll put some holes in the cart. And yeah, this bad boy is ready to get cleaned up and painted and put on the cart. There goes nothing. Oh, it hurts. It physically hurts to put holes in this essentially brand new cart. Sure, that makes me weird somehow, but it physically, it hurts my soul. I should have just engineered this to use all the factory mounting. But I didn't plan that far ahead. Oh well. Oh, I think it's gonna work. You know what I didn't do is double check that height before I drilled all the holes. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. All right. Okay. Here we go. Ah. Beautiful. Could have gone higher. So I was really worried about this height here and being able to pick this up and out of here if I needed to, but I really could have gone like another inch or so higher. Oh well. That's all right. I think that's going to be sturdy enough to hold that guy without needing to do like any supports that way. Oh yeah. Check that out. Not perfectly level, not perfectly square. Not perfect. But it's going to be rad. Because it's going to be on the cart. Be able to roll it around. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm excited. This is cool. Ooh. So, the other thing we get to do now, because we have the right fitting, we get to do some plasma cutting. Yeah. Because that bad boy is also a plasma cutter. So now we can hook this bad guy into that air compressor, this end into this bad mamma jamma here, and we can just be like, plasma cut a hole. Heck yeah, that's going to be good. Oh yeah, I'm excited about this. This is a good day. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm so excited. All right. I think that's going to do it for today. Next time we will start working on the gas bottle side, and that'll do it. Hi, buddy. Hi. That's going to do it for this episode of Any Given Garage. Yeah, it's cool, huh? I know. It's super cool. We're going to do the other side now. Yeah. We're going to do the other side. We're going to do the other side. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. He's a good dog. Good boy.